On the opening remarks, I'd like to, first, on behalf of my returning colleagues, Dr. Benaim and Dr. Robinson, and myself, I want to welcome our new colleagues, Ms. Brill, Mr. Shaw, Mrs. Brown, and Mrs. Anders to this board. Congratulations again to all of you, and I look forward to working with you this year. People have said that the school board is just a stepping stone to a more important position. I don't believe there is any more important position. How can there be? We have the awesome power to hold the future in our hands. My generation has had the fortune and opportunity to live in the greatest country on earth. We have been the leader of the world in education, innovation, and quality of life. Reestablishing that greatness starts in this room and in every school boardroom in this country. The children are our greatest assets, and affording them the opportunity to achieve their greatest potential will be our greatest legacy. There is no more important position than guiding and providing for the education of children. This hits really close to home for me. I have two grandchildren. Brandon is 6 and Elena is 3, and they live right here in Palm Beach County with my daughter Maria and her husband Frank. Imagine that, he's got the same name as me. I tried to get my daughter and son-in-law to name Brandon after Frank, and I said, you know, I can tell everybody he's named after his grandfather, and you can say he's named after his father, but they didn't buy it, so his name is Brandon. But Brandon attends one of our public schools right here in Palm Beach County, and in kindergarten, he told my daughter when she picked him up from his first day of the school year, he came out and he said, "Mom, kindergarten rocks." And I think we must make sure that all of our children in this district share that enthusiasm for education. Next, I want to thank my colleagues for the trust they have placed in me by electing me chair. While I feel truly honored to have been entrusted with such an important position, I know the expectation level is high, especially from the community members. I will certainly give my best efforts to live up to that expectation. I'm sure that I will make decisions which are unpopular. We all will. But I promise to explain the decisions I'm making and why I feel they are in the best interest of all of the children in our school district. The decisions we make will always put children first. I've been observing other school board meeting videos, reading materials provided by the Florida School Board Association, and spoken with our general counsel and our superintendent as to the authority of board chairs with respect to conduct of meetings. There will be changes that I'd like to make in the format and operations of this board. We as a board, together with the administration, will decide upon most of the changes together. Others I have authority to change immediately. Some of those are visibly present. Up here at the dais tonight are the 7 board members in order of their districts. Dr. Benaim is District 1, Mr. Shaw 2, and we're lined up in the order of the 7 districts. And up here with us are the 3 direct reports to the school board, are the 3 employees that we have under contract, which would be the superintendent. Our auditor's not here this evening, but he will be sitting up here with us, and our general counsel, Mr. Harris. The other 2 people that will be up here with us is our student government representative as well as our board clerk. Of course, we couldn't get anything done around here without Alicia, so we need to make sure she's up here with us. The other members of the administration, our chief operating officer, our chief learning officer, Mr. Moore and Ms. Killitz, and any other administrators that will be addressing the board will address us from the table that we place in the front of the room. I have spoken with the superintendent, and we are in agreement to several other changes that will be made beginning with the next meeting. Any agenda item that a speaker wants to speak on will be automatically pulled from the agenda. The agenda speaker will speak at the time that the board is discussing that agenda item. So we'll be giving you the opportunity to speak on the agenda item as the board is considering those items. If members of the public wish to speak at a board meeting, they can either call the board office 1 hour before the board meeting is to start. Used to be a 12 o'clock deadline, or you can fill out a card when you get here at the beginning of the meeting, prior to the beginning of the meeting. Another change that I want to make is that each board member will have the opportunity to make comments both at the beginning of a board meeting and at the end of the meeting in closing comments. So at the beginning of the meeting, I anticipate that somebody will want to tell me that their school beat my school in basketball. And so those are probably the happy things we want to talk about. And at the end of the meeting, I'd like each board member to have the opportunity to make any closing comments they might have, especially make comments with respect to any items they might have heard from non-agenda speakers so that we have the opportunity to address the concerns that are raised by members of the public. Over the last year, the trust in the board and the administration has been diminished. Our image has been tarnished. The changes I will offer will be with one objective in mind: rebuilding that trust, changing that image, establishing true transparency, and enabling us to function effectively as a policy-making board. And a word of caution: compromise is not a means of surrender, but a means of victory. We shouldn't have competing interests between the board and the administration. It is not us against them or them against us. We are in this together. We are all here for the children. Their interests must always come first. I'm hopeful for a great year ahead. We have daunting tasks ahead of us, meeting class size and financial shortfalls, not being the least of which. But we have enthusiastic new board members and new subject matter experts on this board, and if the administration and the board work together, we will find solutions to our most difficult challenges. We have 12,000 teachers who teach because they love what they do. They have dedicated their lives to filling the young, impressionable minds of children with all the knowledge those children need to be ready to face the world. And of course, our teachers couldn't work their magic without the support of our dedicated administrators and their staff, our bus drivers, our maintenance and food service workers, and all of the other employees of this district who come to work each day with the understanding that they're there for the children. We have a great community and a lot of talent and resources both among our employees and out in our community. Let's get started now with improving the quality of education in Palm Beach County together. Mr. Superintendent, we are a team of 8, and we need to move together to get this district going where it needs to go. Thank you very much.
The changes that the chair has suggested will require a change in policy 1.03 that will need to come before the board.
Right. I think I spoke with Mr. Harris on this, and he thought, are you speaking about the agenda speakers, taking them out of order?
Well, not just that. There's some other issues that you brought up that will be addressed, that are addressed in here.
Mr. Harris felt that there was enough leeway in the way the policy was worded that we could make the changes. I've spoken to him about it ahead of time, as well as the superintendent. The superintendent is in agreement with those agenda changes.
Okay, and so you're asking your fellow board members if they're in agreement with it?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have any issues with any of that?
I have no problem. I just think that we are a team of 8, and we need to make these decisions together.
Touche, well taken. I didn't think any of you would have any objections to those issues, but certainly certainly if you do, I'd love to hear them, and if we need to make some modifications to my suggestions, as well as any other changes that any of you would like to see in how we conduct the meetings or any other ideas you have which you think would be beneficial to the operation of this board, I'd be happy to listen to those concerns, of course, at a meeting so that we're not violating sunshine. So if you have any of those concerns, please make them known to me either tonight or at other meetings that are coming up. Yes, ma'am.
I think actually my comments were really more directed at legal counsel because I don't need a response, Mr. Harris, but as came up when we interviewed for our chief counsel, the chief counsel responds to the collective and not the individual. And so we need to make sure that that's how we are carrying out our responsibilities.
For bringing it up, and really I would just like to stand here and smile for a little bit until everybody feels awkward. But I'm afraid I'd run out of time. I'm so pleased to see that the school board of Palm Beach County has put on a new face. It's well past time. I want to thank those who have served, but I also want to thank each of you for having the interest to serve and the perseverance to do what it took to get here. I'm sure that we all share a common goal, and that goal is to provide a great public school education for every student in Palm Beach County. I'm not so naive as to believe that our ideas on how to get there will always coincide, but I sense a new era of collaboration in which you and the stakeholders together, and that includes the business community, the parents, the students, the teachers, and everyone else connected with education in Palm Beach County, will do the work that it takes to carve out a consensus moving forward to achieve that goal. Thank you for your time. Welcome aboard. And the teachers of Palm Beach County applaud you.